All right, back with another video. We're gonna jump in right back into the book of Genesis, chapter 2. To start out the video with, who knows where it can go from there. But second video is, second chapter is, ooh, God creates a holy day, and that stuck out to me when I read it because I know some religions is like they holy day is Saturday. On some other religions, like they holy day is Sunday. So when I was reading that, it stuck out to me because God didn't really specify which day was holy. It just said in the Bible that He made a day holy. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that was left over to interpretations and people consider holy days whatever fit their religion. I don't know. Also in Genesis chapter 2, God created man and mankind, and He also created the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So that plays a big role in the story of the Bible. Also, God created the Garden of Eden, and a lot of people, I haven't really looked too deep into that, but some people can pinpoint exactly where the Garden of Eden is. You know, I didn't do my research before this video, so you can tell me in the comments exactly where the Garden of Eden is. But he also finished creating man or whatnot, and he instructed them, you know, that they were free to eat from any tree, eat from anywhere in that garden that he made for them, um, except for the one tree, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Also, when he instructed man not to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, he also let them know that they would die. So it got me thinking, were we immortal before then? Were we not supposed to die? Were we not supposed to deal with sickness? Or like, it just brought up them type of questions for me because we all know the story and stuff like that. But you know, if you weren't gonna die beforehand, and he tells you if you eat from the tree of knowledge after that, then you would die. So I don't. It makes me think that before any of this happened, that we were supposed to not die. We were supposed to be longer living beings than we are now. And here in chapter 2 of Genesis is where God, see if I can catch that car. This is what God did say, because I'm a loner. I've been a loner for a long time. I like my privacy. I like my quality time to myself and stuff like that. But a lot of people will just mention this verse to me all the time, and it's the first time that I actually looked into it. But yeah, Genesis chapter 2, God does instruct, man, that it's not good for a man to be alone or whatever like that, which I'm perfectly fine with it. But this is just as the book of the Bible plays out. At the beginning, you know, I'm pretty sure God intended us not to be alone and stuff like that. But, you know, we get deeper into the book and we know what happens. After that, for that reason, God creates woman. Also, God, I thought it was because of questionable when I was reading it. God takes the rib from the man to make woman. And while I was reading, I was like, well, why didn't God take the brain? Or why didn't God take the heart? Or I didn't mean like take the whole thing, but you know, why wasn't it said that woman was made from man's mind or man's heart? So that that was just interesting to me. Like, what's the significance of the rib? If you do know the significance of the rib, comment below and enlighten me on that, please. Also, a small detail that I noticed was that we know Adam and Eve, they didn't have parents. You know, God was their parents, or God was their parent. You know what I mean. But I also read in chapter 2 where it was saying that a woman is good, that a man can leave his mother and father to live with a woman or be with a woman. And that struck me as interesting because in the world we live in nowadays, it's more likely the woman leaving to be with the man and his family. And I even think that's why it stuck out to me. I had somebody tell me that that's the way that their marriage was organized, was for the woman to leave her household and come live in with the man in his household. And if you read from the Bible, it was Genesis chapter 2. It was the man that was supposed to leave the house and be with the woman. I'm not saying either one is right, but it was just an interesting point that stuck out to me. I actually got it written down in my notes that this was a long chapter, chapter 2, and that was before I started on chapter 3, which is a longer chapter than chapter 2, and a lot more happens in chapter 3 than chapter 2. But by the end of chapter 2, the Bible just informs us that they were both naked and they knew nothing about nakedness and they were fine. Everything was comfortable and everything was perfect. So chapter 3 is long. You could probably make a movie about chapter 3, but this is where the serpent is introduced, and he's only referred to as a serpent in chapter 3. And he immediately goes straight for Eve, starting to try and deceive her, talking to her. Just find it funny that he went after the woman and not the man, to try to coerce them to do what he wants them to do. He went straight for Eve. He asked her, what's up with the tree? Why y'all can't eat from it? And, she basically, filled him in on everything from chapter 2. And he called it a lie. He just told her, he said, no, that's not true. If you eat from the tree, then you will be like God. You will have all-knowing knowledge, and you will be like a God, and you will know the difference between good and evil. She also told them that if they ate from the tree, that they would die, and that's going opposite to what he's telling her, that she would become God-like or whatever in nature, and that plants the seed of doubt. You can just tell by reading that the seed of doubt is planted in Eve's mind at this moment. So after that doubt was placed in her mind, she ended up partaking of the tree and also sharing some with her husband, Adam, who also partook of the tree as well. And the question just rose in my mind, you knew that you weren't supposed to eat from that tree or whatnot, so you could have easily told her no. You know what I'm saying? This is the manipulation that played by the serpent. He's a manipulator, and so they both shared it. They shared the fruit and everything like that, doing exactly what they shouldn't have been doing. And this is like one of the main reasons why I'm like slow to follow crowds or follow trends or something like that, because this was basically, in essence, the first form of propaganda, the first wave, if you want to call it, the lie that was told that that they wouldn't be damned, or that they wouldn't die if they didn't eat from the tree. So that's why I say it's always best to run things by your own self, and not to be so quick to follow trends and stuff like that, because you know what I'm saying, he just went with whatever. Oh, well, the serpent says we won't die, so let me get, the wife told him that, he won't die, so I ain't gonna die. What does this person that created me and you from nothing know about it? So he was obviously deceived, and that's why it's important, man, to always go with your own mind, your own. I don't care if it's the most unpopular thing. He could have been the most unpopular person in the Garden of Eden if he's just like, nah, I'm not gonna eat that. We ain't supposed to do that. You know, it's just called discernment. We got to have a lot of discernment out here. Kind of like me with the content I'm making now, just like if it's for you, it's for you. I'm not going to make a video just because it's what that person want to see or what that what the next person want to like or whatever like that. It's what I like, and if you appreciate the content that you see here, then you like it as well. And we also are getting smarter about it as well, because I'm not as well rounded with the Bible as I should be. But after that whole occurrence, they realized that they were naked, you know what I'm saying, immediately. So they did get knowledge of themselves. And God called to them. This is all in chapter 3. It's a longer chapter than chapter 2. God called to them and they hid. You hear from the person who created you. You hear from the person who built the Garden of Eden from you. So they also had knowledge and they also had shame. So knowledge can be a double-edged sword. You know, you have to use knowledge wisely, basically. So Adam obviously gets like called to the living room by God to talk to him about what just happened. And he just said, I didn't want you to see me because I was naked, so I hid. And God just basically like, who told you you was naked? How'd you know you were naked? So, he basically just lied. It wasn't about him being naked, because they've been naked the whole time. It was about him eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And that's pretty much all it was. And he lied about that, and he knew that it was gonna get talked about at some point by his creator. And so Adam confessed to eating from the tree, and that's when the drama starts. It's just like some you see on TV when you read it. It's pretty cool how the Bible written sometimes, to me. It's the drama ensued, it's her fault, it's his fault. She said it's the serpent fault. It ain't nobody's fault, it's everybody's fault. So no blame get placed on nobody, but like I said, it just goes around. It's nobody's fault, basically. And God realizing that, he just go off. He go off. He cursed the serpent. It's very specific in his cursing too. He cursed the serpent very specifically. He cursed the male very specifically. And one of the main things that he cursed the man and woman about was them having enmity between each other. So he cursed them from that they will always have some kind of, and enmity is just another word for like beef between two people. So from that, like, to now, there will always be some kind of beef between man and woman, some unspoken, some below level stuff, and it's a curse from God because of what happened in the Garden of Eden. He cursed the woman very specifically, but what stands out to me is the childbirth being very painful, and that the man is your husband is gonna rule over you, as if that's a curse or whatever like that. But that's the way we growed up. That's the way we growed up thinking that male supposed to be the man in the house or head of the house, but that was cursing dude as well, from what I gather reading chapter 3. Also, he kicked them out the Garden of Eden. They couldn't get back in. They couldn't get back into the Garden of Eden from where they were. So kicked them out. They couldn't get back in, and just a lot of more specific curses. You can go look Genesis chapter 3 and read those up if you want to. But with that being said, that's the end of the video. We just did Genesis chapter 1 through 3. So I guess 4 through 6, if I'm going in threes or whatever like that, 4 through 6 will be coming up, and we'll just keep going from there. I'm telling you the truth, man. This is like a turning point. My birthday just came up recently and stuff like that. Didn't do any celebrating, didn't do any partying, didn't do any of the normal things that you would expect, from a birthday. But this definitely came up to me, which in addition to the semen retention and the sobriety and earnest and stuff like that, um, I just soul searched a lot, around my birthday and stuff like that, and just seeing real results in my life. Um, and the content I make is pretty important and stuff. Like that's why I say I don't really care how it turns out. I just know it's what I wanted to make, and it's how I'm feeling at the moment, and I want it to be as positive and as educational as it can be. And those thoughts and feelings brought me to the Bible. So I'm gonna be getting into that. Like I said, I'm gonna mix it up with the semen retention and so sobriety and earnest. We're gonna throw the Bible in there with it too, so we can all be more knowledgeable of the Bible going forward. You know what I'm saying, from my perspective, because like I said, I didn't really grow up having to go to church or having to learn much about the Bible. But at this point in my life, I'm feeling like that's a learning Spanish. You know what I'm saying, in my spare time, might as well learn the Bible in my spare time as well. Can't too much bad come from that, I don't believe. So hope y'all have a good rest of your day. Check out the abandoned house, the second abandoned house that we were at, and see y'all next time. I really enjoy this new way of shooting the videos.